Let me do recording. Okay. So what I'm trying to say here, okay, so you have an Azure tenant ID here and your organization. Okay, so my voice is clear, right? Everybody, you guys is can able to hear.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. All right. So you have an organization and you just take in the one Azure account. Okay. This is private cloud where in organization level, most of the organization will take it up. Okay. So, and you just take and one subscription. Okay. One client. Okay. On a one client have maybe have multiple subscription maybe. Okay. So subscription is nothing but it is in a account where we are going to utilize the cloud services. Okay, simple shortcut. If you want to use for the Google Drive services and other services, you want a Gmail account, right? So consider it as Gmail account. Under the Gmail account, you may have some Google Drive, other services, right? You can use for Google related stuff. Okay, so same kind of approach when you are going to utilize the services, you require one account and the organization is going to create, uh, they're going to use their account and take the subscription from the cloud vendor. Either it is Microsoft, Google, and AWS, whatever, the same sort of, but the naming conventions is different here. So you have one subscription and you may have or, different environment like, dev, UAT, and production. So other use case, think about it. Whatever the services you want to use, all in one single resource group, one single resource. This is a Dev resource group, Dev RG. Okay, and here you can take
Three
it up.
different subscription.
Sorry.
Uh, Here we have three different subscription.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll tell you the no what is the use case of three different subscriptions, not different subscription, only one subscription here at this moment.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm talking about in a single subscription. Okay, you are going to take multiple resource groups under this one. Okay, this is a one and this is one. You may have one more use case. All the services you can maintain here also. Okay, you can maintain here also. Dev, okay, and UAT and prod. Okay, let's say this is the you can take it up as all resource, all resource. You can the naming is that is up to you. It may be location based, it may be client based, it may be the use case or whatever you can name is that is up to. See, this approach actually initial Microsoft launched, right? ASM portal. Okay. Now current situation is you can have, okay, ARM portal. Okay. So what is the use case of this resource group? Basically, if you want to utilize cloud services, you require account of one subscription, right? Under the subscription, you may use, okay, now this is got clubbed into this in single plane. Okay, so what is the use of dev, UAT, and production? Its simple thing is you are going to dividing of the your articles. Okay, let's say your school bag is there, your kids, okay, all the books you are going to keep into the one place. That is going to somewhat difficulty, right, to find out and take in and put it in. So if you may segment this one, let's say maths one rack, physics and chemistry, you are going to segment. It is very easy to accommodate the same kind of approach here as well. Okay, so the dev resources, whatever you're going to deploy here, you can deploy it here. You will, what is the advantage of this one? Okay, so for the dev, you are deployed some, VM instances or databases and all. Okay, it is easy to track of your complete resources information. Okay, I got the dev subscription today, this month billing, 100 USD, and production resource group billing information is will got uh, uh, 200 USD. Okay, so now what you finding? Okay, so getting of production resource, the cost and the dev resource cost, it may give some relevant, right? Let's say vice versa. You will dev resource group will getting 200 USD, and production you are getting 100. This is somewhat discrepancy, right? It is not an expected behavior. Mostly production will get in most of the use case the billing. So to isolate, to manage and identify it, okay, so it is going to help this one. Okay, it's nothing but dividing of your environment. Okay, or let's say instead of a dev you at prod, you may call it as India, US and Singapore. So location based also you can able to track your environment, tracking the bill and monitor the bill, and you can easily to identify in one bucket you are keeping all your in article. That is not good. If you are going to segment this one, it is easy to track and understand, right? So that's what the resource group it is going to helping to I did help and identifying and classifying of your complete environment. Okay, so that is what the resource group. So tenant is the resources that you are going to being used into the cloud and cloud provider. Resource group is basically, what is the resource group? Resource group is dividing of your complete logical container. Okay, it is in a logical container. What is it? Now I am going to resource group. What is the resource group? All the resources we are going to do, right? So in this resource group, you may deploy one VM. Okay, I'll tell you how we are going to deploy. You may deploy one SQL. Okay, okay, so one VM. Okay, so you can storage also you can deploy. Okay, so this many resources you are going to deploy into this one resource group. The same kind of thing approach you may use here. Okay, you may use here also. Okay, so it is a logical container. Okay, so you are dividing into the multiple segment. Under the logical container you are going to deploy the multiple resources. I'll tell you when you are going to do some experimental deployment phase, you easily understand. Okay, so grouping of like purpose resources, logical container, grouping of like purpose resources we can use. So what is the resources here? Anything in Azure that you can provide, such as databases, virtual machine storage, what I want just before what I discussed here. Okay, so earlier days in ASM portal, all the resources, dev, prod, UAT, all are you are going to deploying in one under one resource group only. That's what that time there is some difficult to tracking of the billing and managing of the resources. Okay, now as and when it is came into the resource group concept, okay, so it is easy to understand and track and manage the resources in the cloud landscape. Any questions here? Actually, what is the resource group? What is the resource? And what is the Azure account or Azure subscription?
Sir.
Okay, let's go to clearing of your some doubts maybe. Okay, so it is easy to understand when you are going to deploy. So as I said, this is my subscription. Okay, under the subscription we have multiple resources, and multiple resources you are going to create the resource group. Okay, so it is in a basic requirement. Let's say I want to create one VM instances. When you are going, yeah.
I have a question. If I have created multiple resources, now after creating multiple resources, I want to create a resource group for that. So I can do that, or before creating resource, we will have to create a resource group.
Yeah, before creating the resource, you have, a resource group. Okay.
Okay.
So that's what I'm just coming to the same what you ask. Okay. Okay. Just let's see. I haven't created now. Let's say I don't have any resources. It is an empty now. Okay. It is empty now. So I am trying to create one resource here. Let's say I want to create a VM compute instance. So let's try to create here. Okay. So I'm just go and click on create the resource here, the VM instance. There is some left side. Just hold here is it is going to give some information, right? The basic requirement is a resource group. Okay. So there is a two cases. One is you can use the existing resource group, or during the creation of the resources also you can able to create. Both the you can utilize. Both the cases you can utilize now. Okay. So one is existing resource group you can utilize, or during the creation of the resources, you can also create the resource group. Two cases here. Okay, that is up to you. Okay, most of the real time, they're going to define. Okay, they're going to define the naming convention as well as the resource group. Okay, let's say I want to deploy some my uh, development environment or test environment. So make sure that to avoid some discrepancies and all, you just create the before creating of the resource group, that it will give some relevant. If you are using some POC or testing and lab, that is up to you. You can easily to go and create it on fly as well. Both the cases we have. Okay, now let's go and create the resource group. First of all, just before we created the resource group is nothing but it is a logical container where we are going to uh, keep all our resources into the one bucket. Okay, to understand, to manage, and to make some transparency of your environment. Okay, so that is what it is. So if you can see this existing resource group, we have three resource group basically. There is a name and a subscription and a location. Okay, one thing keep in your mind. Okay, so there is no dependency with the resource group location of the resources. I'll tell you what exact it is. Okay, let's say your resource group is in a East US location. You deployed. Okay, so it does not mean that your resource should be in the same location. It may be different location. Let's see that one. First of all, I'm going to create resource group. Okay, let's create one resource group. So what is the resource group, guys? Resource group is nothing but it is a logical container where you are going to maintain your all the resources, right? So let's say uh, test resource group. Okay, so you can call normally what they will follow. Okay, so let's say US, uh, let's say test resource group. Okay, so DB resource group. That's a RS. So normally what they will follow, and the numeric zero. This is most of the cases we will follow to understand location, environment, resource, what type of resource, and the resource group name. Okay, like this will follow the naming convention of some most of the use cases. Okay, but for the testing purpose, we'll go for test RG. Okay, this is test RG, and I'm just going to deploy in India. Okay, so let's see this in India we can able to deploy or not. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to deploy, South India. Just make this one. Next is, tags. I just want to discuss these tags. What is the tags here? Applying of tags your resources, logically organizing by them to, catalogs. See, it's nothing but, when you are going to shopping mall, we are going to see some every cloth, right? There is a some tag, not only cloths, and even every article. If you want to go on, there is some pricing tag and some manufacturing tag. There is a barcode, right? So the same kind of approach. But what is the use of the tag? Let's say this resource group you are going to use for India region. Okay, I want to say India. Okay, India region. So let's say you are going to utilize for the DB resources. So you can call it as DB01. So when you are going to do some, filtering or, extracting the billing information by using of these tags, you can able to retrieve. Just next, create and review. It will first validate whatever you are going to give the inputs information and then click on create. So this is the kind of resource group creation. Okay. Now I'm going to create a resource now. So let's say the simple, I want to go and create a storage account. Okay, I'll tell you what is a storage account, how many type storage accounts we have. We will go on deep in depth. Okay, so today agenda is we just need to exploring of the left side panel, all the services, how it is and what it is. Okay, just let's deploy the storage account. So I can create the storage account. Okay, so on fly. Okay, so now this is my subscription and a resource group. So here is the two things. I just created a test resource group. Okay, you don't want to use the test resource group, so you can create on fly as well. Just create on this one. Okay, so what we can call the demo resource group. Okay, so you can use like this one also. But best option is you just create using of existing one resource group. Okay, so this is my resource group utilization. So as of now, I'm just making up this duplicate tab. Okay, when you go and see this under the resource group, there is no resources, right? At this moment, post deploying of resources, you can find there is a multiple uh, um, resources and information under the resource group. Okay, let's see this one. Okay, so just navigate to the resource group, and what we are going to utilize this test resource group. There is no resources at all. If you can see, you could see the subscription name, deployment location, and the subscription ID tag, whatever we have given the tag, the tags is available, right? So I could not see any kind of resources in here. Okay, but once after the deployment is done, you may see that resource name, type, and the location. You can able to see this one. Okay, so just go to the previous tab, and you are use for the I have one subscription. That's what I can able to see this one, right? So if I having this under this account, multiple subscription, you may list out here the drop down multiple subscription list here. Okay, so I'm just using for the existing resource group, and we'll go and use here. See what it is going to indicating. The name must be unique across all the existing resource account name in the Azure portal. It must be 3 to 24 characters. So you can give test resource group. If it is already existing, it will show this already existing. So test storage account, right? So it is already existing. Okay, so what I can do is SQL. So this is my storage account. Okay, so now it's unique one. So it's nothing but unique, not nothing new here. Just we have to give the unique name. That's it. So what it is going to show here, if you guys just remember, my resource group is deployed into South India, right? I want to deploy this resource group East US. That's what just before I said. Okay, there is no dependency the resource group location and the resources. It is in a logical segment to isolate your environment and make sure and managing to easily the administration, managing and maintaining and cost extract and all. to classify your environment. It is going to help. That's it. Okay, there is no dependency. Okay, so just I'm had this region and all, and rest of the things I'll keep it as is. Okay, we'll discuss in details each and every tab going forward, and just review and click on create. It is validating whatever I just provided input information, and click on create. Okay, so just think, remember, that is, see if you can see the notification bar, the storage account is got deployed, right? So this is the one thing. The other thing is the if you can see this deployment status here, also you can able to see the status if the no, deployment is going to happening here. Okay, maybe it is completed. Okay, it is in progress, right? Let's see, it should actually. Okay, so we'll see this going forward. Any resource if you are going to deploy, here also you can able to see the deployment tracks. I mean, what is the current status and all. Okay, so here the resource is already complete. That's what we cannot able to see here, right? So what resource you have deployed here? Storage resource, right? So this is my storage account. So we will discuss each and every component in detail information. What is the use case of the with respect to SQL standpoint? We'll go through the all tabs most of the case, and we'll discuss all this sub tabs as well. Okay, so we'll do that one. So what is my point here? Basically, when you see this resource group. Okay, we haven't seen any kind of resources just before, right? Now I could able to see this resource. So what you understand here? Basically, the resource group is in our South India location, and the resource is a East US location. So there is no dependency. So likewise, you can deploy the multiple resources, not only the storage and the VM and SQL, whatever you want, you can deploy it, make it together. So the is basically to isolate and managing of your resources of your environment, to give some transparency, to easy to extract a condor, to allow complete landscape cloud landscape resources information. It will help to track them. Okay, so this is what about the resource group basically. So now any questions here?
I have one doubt. If we are one resource group we are using, uh, the resource groups different locations. Is it okay? One
Yeah,
resource
that
group.
yes, that's what I'm saying. Okay, it may be
Yes.
in a same location or the different location. So the
Multiple
point
locations
is,
also.
yes,
Resource one.
multiple, multiple locations also it will work. That's what my
Yes.
point actually. Okay, either same location or the different locations. You may keep your resource, UK, Singapore, whatever. Okay, so that is what the point here. Okay, yes,
Got it. Thank you.
yeah. And next, just before we create a storage account, right? So storage account is nothing but we guys is familiar with Google Drive and our local storage drives, right? So whatever your data, whether text, okay, uh, text or word or Excel, the data you are going to store, hard drive or pen drive or the Google Drive, right? So the same kind of usage of here. Okay, so but the detailed information of about this one. Okay, so we have a lot of use cases to utilize the storage account is basically. Okay, so now as of now, what we discussed is basically the tenant information and these tabs. What are the tabs is available. We just move towards the left and have home, dashboard, all services, all the resources. See, service is like under the subscription end. Okay, so if you can see services information what Microsoft is going to provide. Okay, this is Microsoft, providing services. All resources is basically the resource that you deployed actually. Okay, click this all the resources, whatever you deployed. See, I deployed some, right? I deployed some other key vault information. So here you can able to see whatever you deployed the resources here. And resource group, just before we discuss, and here is a quick start center. Okay, basically this, it will give some, Azure Portal or free account, if you want to go step by step, self-learning kind of thing here. Okay, so project guidelines. You want to deploy one VM, so how we are going to start? Okay, you want to deploy web app, so it will give the step by step process. Okay, so you can go and use this, pre-inbuilt defined steps. Okay, and app services. You want to deploy the app service, you required, database server, and this one also you can able to create. It's a kind of some templates available here, you can directly utilize. Okay, so app services. What is the app services? If you guys is familiar with, IAS application and .NET application, so whatever you want to do, see how you're going to deploy on-premises app application. You require one server, and you want to go and to do some sort of installation, code building, maintaining a one, repository. That's what we are going to do in a normal scenario, right? But here you just need to go and, create the app services and put your, code, and then use, a website. Okay, so this is one kind of approach here. Okay, so, and app functions. So what is the use case of the app function here? Okay, basically it is going to give some, uh, directory repository, all the app functions it's going to happen. So let's say the data you want to, move one location to other location, or files repository, all these things you can able to do here. And this database is Cosmos, virtual machines, load balancing, storage, virtual network, and active directory monitoring. So each and everything we are going to discuss in detail. Okay, but more specification into the SQL related stuff. Okay, but on top of it, we are going to discuss on each and everything. But the last prospect of, we are going to dig deeper into this SQL related stuff basically. So if you want to make your shortcut here, what we can able to do, go in the favorite bar, just go to this all services. Okay, so, and go to this databases. Okay, so as of now you can see the star buttons, right? There is a star indicator. If it is a star is there, it is available in our favorite button. Let's say here I can see the Cosmos DB, right? If I'm going to make this one uncheck, you cannot able to see here. Okay, let's say I want to keep this one in a favorite button, SQL manager instance, right? So sorry, this one, you go and click on this, star, it will appear here. Are you able to see this one? If you can come bottom, it we can able to see. If I am going to, uncheck this one, it will not appear in the favorite bar. So what is the use of this one basically? See, regularly you are working database, you don't want this all this stuff, right? So you don't want all this, you want only for the database relationship. You can, make it as a favorite bar. So likewise, how we are going to do, Internet Explorer in a favorite bar, the same kind of approach we are going to do here. Okay, so this is what exactly today we are going to discuss. Basically, the subscription resource group, and the storage account we discuss. And the next class, we are going to exploring of, multiple resources deployment. And during the deployment in a lab, we are going to discuss in details each and every tab, and make ensuring that the services, the resources working fine or not, we will validate. So mostly the next class tomorrow is also classes there. You make sure you may have some lab setup basically, that we are going to work deploying of, VM and the networking and all. how you're going to connect that one from your local laptop or local services that you're going to do. Okay. Any questions now? Anyone?
Nothing.
Cool. So upload this one. Okay, so just have your subscription so that you can discuss. And also I'm going to upload some, documents in a Google Drive folder. Just ping your mail IDs in a WhatsApp so that I can give the access to you folks to directly take that recordings as well as the documents as well. I have a lot of documents as well to just want to share with every model related stuff actually. Okay, so each and every document we have some hmm, so that so device I'm going to keep uh, related stuff documents and let's say today we are going to discuss storage account. Storage account we have complete document here. Okay, so you can go through the step by step. So since we are not started Azure SQL, you'll get each and everything. Go through this document and all. You'll get some familiar kind of information. It is easy to understand uh, everything. Okay, let's say we are going to discuss about DTE, DTU. So this is also give some definition and as well as how to we are going to deploy the DTU and the eDTU, how we are going to extracting that, all these documents which is going to I'm going to uploading. Okay, so don't worry, it is make it available for you folks. Any questions now? Okay, so I'll take it as no. Then let's sync up tomorrow. I'm just stopping the recording.